Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about Great News. So, Great News is a sitcom that came out very recently, within the last 2 or 3 years. It only has a small amount of content. It only has 1.5 seasons of content. So it has like a full season with like 10 episodes, 10, 12 episodes, and then it has a half a season with 6 episodes specifically. And it's a really fun show. It's self-contained. So it's just something you can knock out in a couple of days, or even a week if you're watching, through. It currently is on Hulu, so you can see it on Hulu. But it's worth pursuing, through other venues. It was very nice. Since I'm subscribed to Hulu, I really didn't have to pay extra for it. But I want to be clear. I thought this was a very good, fun show. It wasn't the best show I've ever seen, but it was a lot of fun, and I really liked how contained it was. The other thing is, it's doing something that has definitely been done before, which is a sitcom, situational comedy, that is specifically targeted it is built within the world of broadcast television news, right? And specifically, these guys are a cable news network, which is really interesting, and it's really a very fascinating show. So it's got some interesting stars in it. Tina Fey has a brief stint. She's probably in about 2 or 3 specific episodes. And then also Nicole Richie is in the show, and a few other people are bouncing around in the show. All prominent television stars, but I'm mostly on the movie side. I think I see a lot more movies than I do television. But it was really, really interesting, and it really had a lot to say. It was really quite fascinating about when the topics that the show spoke on specifically are intergenerational relationships. So it talked a lot about that. The perfect example is they have this old baby boomer, newsman, and they have a millennial newswoman, right? They're the anchors, right? And there's this, I actually showed my kids this one, but there's a line in it where the older newsman says, "Who is Snapchat? Is he one of the minions? And are they all Pokemon?" Right? Yeah. So it was very, very funny, and I thought it was very humorous, and just really enjoyed it. And there's a lot of that, like intergenerational relationships, and there's also some really interesting aspects within the show that talk about the workplace, and they really bring a lot of cool things to light on that. Also, the main character of the show is essentially kind of like an Ivy League, aggressive, go-getter, like young lady, right? And her mother actually becomes an intern at the cable news network where she works, right? So a mother and daughter. So it even has family relationships are in the mix. It talks a lot about women in the workplace, right? And one of the things it talks about very directly is how challenging it is, especially in a highly competitive environment like news, right? Like television news, how difficult it is for specifically for women to have a robust, full life and balance that with as many hours and as much drive and as much demand on time, energy, and emotion that a job like that would take. I think it showed how difficult it is. I was a little sad that I don't think it really showed many answers at all. And I'm really curious, when we're going to start to see shows address this more. I think we have a lot of shows that are saying, "Oh, this is incredibly difficult," but they don't really show any shows saying, "Oh, well, here's a solution that would allow you to get, to actually get those things done." And of course, you really shouldn't be looking for solutions to life problems in situational comedies, but some of the best do address those kind of things. And it was just kind of sad to me to see that they were saying, if you are a go-getter young lady and you are in an incredibly competitive, work environment, you are going to be very frequently put upon your shoulders are going to be incredibly difficult decisions about your own future, right? And that often the branches that happen, one branch, when you turn to go down one path, it may close off options in another path. And I think this show, more than any show I've seen before, discussed that in a way that was funny and really did show the challenges that I think would be presented for a young urban female professional, right? And it was very interesting. So it was really it also dealt with the issue of how news today has changed so drastically, and they actually showed in the show multiple times how segmented news has become. Like, you have the networks, you have the cable groups, and then also one of the things that was happening is that news, any kind of professional news organization, is so under stress over ratings, and how incredibly difficult it is for these news organizations to put out good journalistic material at the same time entertain people. And again, it very clearly showed the different decision points that would make one, make people choose one or the other, and that often you really can't have both. You're really going to be doing one or the other. You do the best you can to get a blend. You try to accomplish both goals, but since you do this every day, or for at least 5 days a week, it's going to be incredibly difficult. It's just going to be incredibly difficult. So all of that is in the mix for great news. It's really a wonderful show. I highly recommend it. It's just a really nice, contained unit of television that is very enjoyable. Take care.